الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نبرأ إليك من حولنا وقوتنا، نلتجئ إلى حولك وقوتك يا ذا القوة المتين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Oh Allah, teach us what to benefit us, increase us in knowledge, in good morals, and in good deeds, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We continue by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings explaining منظومة المقدمة فيما يجب على قارئ القرآن أن يعلمه من نظم إمام الحفاظ وحجة القراء محمد بن علي بن يوسف ibn al-Jazari رحمه الله تعالى, who was born 751 and passed away 833 after the hijrah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we are on the 8th section, which is Bab al-Dad wal-Dha. He said, rahimahullah ta'ala, in 10 lines, he summarized the words that start with Dha, or that has Dha and not Dad. But he said, rahimahullah ta'ala, وَالضَّادَ بِاسْتِطَالَةٍ وَمَخْرَجِ مَيِّزْ مِنَ الضَّاءِ وَكُلُّهَا تَجِي ميز من الضاء وكلها تجي في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ ظاهر لظى شواظ كظم ظلم أغل الظلام ظفر انتظر ظما أظفر ظنا كيف جاء وعظ سوى عظين ظل النحل زخرف سوى وظلت ظلتم وبروم ظلوا كالحجر ظلت شعران ظلوا يظللن محظورا مع المحتضر وكنت فظا وجميع النظر إلا بويل هل وأولى ناظرة والغيظ لا الرعد وهود قاصرة والحظ لا الحظ على الطعام وفي ظنين الخلاف سامي وإن تلاقي البيان لازم أنقض ظهرك يعض الظالم واضطر ما وعظت ما أفضتم وصفها جباههم عليهم. 10 lines he summarized rahimahullah ta'ala the words that start with Dha, and he started with Wadada, and this is line 52. This is line 52. والضاد باستطالة ومخرج ميز من الضاء وكلها تجي. والضاد we said, and the ضاد باستطالة ومخرج ميز. He said ومخرج just to fit the rhythm. It should be ومخرج based on استطالة ومخرج. But he said ومخرج, he dropped one حركة to fit the rhythm. ميز من other. So ميز, the verb is ميز, distinguish the ضاد from the ضاء. How? By the istitala and by the makhraj. And we said first, of course, is the makhraj. The makhraj is different. And the other sifa that, or the other thing that distinguishes the ضاد from the ضاء is the istitala. They join, or they share heaviness. They share, of course, istila. They share إطباق, right? They share rakhawa. So all of these sifat, they share. And they share, of course, also jahr, right? They share jahr. So they share all of these sifat, jahr, rakhawa, jahr, rakhawa, استعلاء, إطباق, تفخيم. So these 5 sifat, they're shared by Dad and Dha. And what makes them different, or the sifa, not what makes them different, the sifa that is different between Dad and Dha is istifala. What makes them different is the makhraj itself. So they come from a different makhraj. And we explained the makhraj in details last time, alhamdulillah, with the pictures, and we still explained the istifala and everything. And we stopped here. I think if you let the tip of the tongue move further when you're doing the istifala of the Dad, when you're doing the Dad, if you let the tip of the tongue suppose these are the teeth, so the tongue should stop here at the root of the teeth, right? If you let it go further, then it becomes al, right? It becomes dha. So the result will be dha instead of dad, as many people do. And here are some examples, some of the main words in the Quran that has dad. So if you practice those words, you'll be fine, inshallah, in the dad, because there's no more, there are no words that are like more difficult or need more practice than these words. So we say al, al, ba, bu, di, al, 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 فرضتم 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 من فضله من فضله والأرض والأرض يقبضن يقبضن. And here this word, to pronounce it correctly, you need to when you say the dad يقبض بضن, then you need to go to the ghunna, okay, because the tongue already touching the place of the noon. So what's left of the noon is the nasal part. يقبض بض بض. The tongue is touching the makhraj of the noon. So I hope you pay attention to this word, because uh, some people don't know how to do it. So the noon is pronounced by what? Two things: the nasal sound, right, the ghunna, and touching the gum. So when you say وَيَقْبِضْ بِضْ, the tongue, the front part of the tongue is touching the noon, the place of the noon, right? So what's left? Then what's left for the noon to be pronounced completely is just the ghunna. So you just go to the ghunna. وَيَقْبِضْ بِضْ بِضْ. You let the air go to the nose to make the ghunna. وَيَقْبِضْ وَيَقْبِضْنَ مَا وَيَقْبِضْ بِضْنَ, right? The dad and the ta. Inshallah. I don't know why the internet was cut. Okay, khair, inshallah. So there was this connection, I don't know, in the internet, maybe because there's some wind. Khair, inshallah. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So we continue. I'm not sure if the last part was recorded. Khair, inshallah. So he's going to mention at the end the difference between how to do, not to mix dad and ta, and he mentions وَالطُّرَّ. So he mentioned that example, وَالطُّرَّ 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 فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ وَكَرِهُوا رِضْوَانَهُ غَضِبَ أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ. These words will come. رَفْرَفٍ خُضْرٍ خُضْرٍ وَخُضْرٍ. So these words, they just need practice, practice, practice until you master them, inshallah. And we explained them, and we talked about them when we talked about the makhraj of the dad. So we said what makes the dad different from da is they share 5 sifat. We said is the makhraj. So the makhraj and istital. The makhraj. The main thing is the makhraj, and they differ. And the dad has extra, has an extra sifat. Okay. We said اللغة العربية لغة الضاد, because the dad is the letter that is special to the Arabic language, or that that exists only in Arabic. Because this letter has some difficulty, it's because it doesn't exist in the languages of others. Even some Arabs, they change it. Some people change it into Allah. Some people change it into Allah, which is mushamma. Some people to lam, some people to zai. So we have different people, as we mentioned before. In Lebanon, some Lebanese, they say yidhak, and instead of saying yadhak, 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 they say yadhak, yidhak. They make it dal. Some people in Syria, they say make it yadhrib. In Saudi, most people, they make it dha. Even the sheikhs, when they speak, you see they're saying dha, yadh. Unfortunately, that's not right. Like when you talk in your common language, you can speak whatever you like. But when you teach people and you're speaking in the Sharia sciences and tafsir, etc., you should not change the letters. And of course, because the scholars were aware of this change in the letter, they explained it. They mentioned these words. They mentioned the words that are with dha and the words that are with dad. Now, since most of the words in the Quran, or the words in the Quran that are with dad, the word that are with dad are more, he just mentioned the words that have dha in them. So when you know the words that have dha in them, okay, then you know that the rest is with dad. The rest is with dad. And of course, because there are so many words, he's not going to mention every single word. He's going to mention for you one word that represent a group of words. One word, sometimes it's the root, sometimes it's just one word that belongs to that group of words that go back to the same root. One more time. He's mentioning what? He's mentioning a word that represents a group of words that share the same root. Okay? He mentioned one word from each group that have the same root. Tamam? Or let's say that share the same root. And based on the, because he's limited by the rhythm, he's sometimes not able to mention the exact word in the Quran, of course. So he's going to mention whatever the rhythm will help him to mention, but it will be a word that shares with a group of words the same root. Bismillah. وَكُلُّهَا تَجِي. كُلُّهَا, all of them, as we mentioned last class. Ha means all of them. كُلُّهَا, all of them. Not as many people think, all of her or all of it. Okay? And why? Because anyone knows why we say كُلُّهَا to الضاءات? Why we refer to الضاءات?
Because it's جماع غير عاقل.
أيوة بارك الله فيك. Because in Arabic, when you have non-human plural, you have to use singular feminine pronoun. That's a rule in Arabic, whether with the verbs or with the nouns. Yani, with a verb, for example, if there's a group of cows, let's say, and you want to say the cows came, what do you say? The verb is ja'a for singular. What do you say? You say ja'atil abqar. Ja'ati. You use the pronoun of the singular feminine. For example, if you want to talk about the trees, al-ashjar, al-ashjar, al-ashjar. If you want to say, for example, that the trees fell, what do you say? Saqatatil ashjar. So you say saqatat. You use what? When you want to refer to non-human plural in Arabic, whether you want to use a verb, okay, or a pronoun, what do you use? You use the pronoun of the singular feminine, singular, feminine. The pronoun of the singular, feminine. Okay? So we say وَكُلُّهَا. If we're talking about a group of people, then we say كُلُّهُم. But because you're talking about الضاءات, the ضاءات, plural of ضاء, those ضاءات, they're non-human plural word. So we say كُلُّهَا. تمام? Is that clear? وَكُلُّهَا, all of the ضاءات, تجي, we said تجي is تجيء, تجيء, and he used the narration of Hamza, or the qira'ah of Hamza, who drops the Hamza. Also Hisham drops the Hamza in some cases. So he used that narration or qira'at, or that way of reading that word to fit the rhythm of the poem. So now he's going to tell us the places where we have the dha. Okay? وَكُلُّهَا تَجِي فِي إِنْ الظَّعْنِ. الظَّعْن, الظَّعْن means traveling, السفر. الظَّعْن is السفر. في الظَّعْن. He refers to the ayah in Surah Al-Nahl, يَوْمَ ظَعْنِكُمْ. So this whole section, okay, besides the explanation of the makhraj, the idea of this section is to know the words that are with dha in the Holy Quran. Now, in the past, of course, they used to write Dad and Sad and Ta and Dha, all the same. They used to be the same, all of them. Then they distinguished the Ta from the Dha with a stick and a dot, and they distinguished the Sad from the Dad with a dot. Before, that was when, that was in the time after, in the time of the Umayyads, after the time of Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, after. So it was about more than 60, 70 years after the passing away of our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you need to know, you see, you need to know. Now, if you read in the Mus'haf, you will know, because basically Dha is like this and Dad is like this. So what's left for you is to learn the how to say this and how to say this. You say this Dha and this is Dha. You press on the tip. When you see this stick, means you're gonna stick, use your tongue, or press on the tip of your tongue. So why then we need to learn this section if we just look at the Mus'haf? Because when you as a teacher, when you're listening to students, you should know, even without looking at the Mus'haf, you should know this word with Dha and this word with Dad, right? And if we need to write a Mus'haf, you should know that this is with Dad and this is with Dha. We should know all the places where there is Dha, right? So this is more related to the writing of the Mus'haf, But also it helps you if you get confused, if you forget, is this ideen or ideen, for example. Then you remember the lines. You remember that, yeah, this, you read the word, for example, al-dhahira. If you forgot, like, is it dhahira or dhahira? So you remember the lines and you know. So he says, في الظَّعْنِ يَوْمَ ظَعْنِكُمْ. يَوْمَ ظَعْنِكُمْ means the day of your travel. في الظَّعْنِ. That's mentioned only once in the Holy Quran. في الظَّعْنِ ظِلُّ الظُّهْرِ عُظْمُ الْحِفْظِ. Now this sentence, it happened to make sense. It's very difficult to make sense of all of those combinations. You know those combinations, خُصَّ ضَغْطٍ قِضْ and قُطْبُ جَد and all those combinations. It's not always easy to make sense of them. But here, it worked with Imam al-Jazari, may Allah reward him, that this sentence has a nice meaning. في الظَّعْنِ ظِلُّ الظُّهْرِ عُظْمُ الْحِفْظِ means in travel, the shade during the noon is great protection. تمام. In the traveling or in traveling or in during traveling, the shade of noon is great protection. So when you're traveling and it's very hot, etc., you take some rest under the shade. So that is what is meant by this sentence. So we come back. في الظعن, we're done with it. ظل from what? ظل means what? Shade. ظل is shade. Every word that is related to shade is with dha. Okay? And we have 24 words in the Quran that are related to this word. The first one in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَظَلَّلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْغَمَامِ. We shaded you with the clouds, talking to the children of Israel. We shaded you with the clouds. That was one of the blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them. Yet they disbelieved and they showed ingratitude later on. So, وَظَلَّلْنَا from shade, ظل, shade. So, وَظَلَّلْنَا. What else? The word ظل. If we remember, anyone can remember an ayah that has a word close to ظل or that belongs to that same group? وظل ممدود, Surah Al-Waqi', for example. وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب, right? So any word that belongs to that family, which is about shade, ظل, ظلال, right? في ظلال وعيون, Surah what? Who knows? Mursalat. So ظل, ظلال is the plural of ظل. ظللنا is the verb. Any word that belongs to that family. Okay? So this has a little bit some relation to the meanings as well. So you need to know the meanings also to know them. Now, في الظعن ظل الظهر, the shade of noon. الظهر, of course, in Arabic you have to pay attention. For example, ظهر is different from الظهر, as we will see. It will come again. So you have to be careful about every haraka, about every sound. One sound might change the meaning, or it will change the meaning. So الظهر is noon, right? The time when the sun almost in the middle of the sky, right? الظهر. It came only in two places in the Quran. الظهيرة, حين تضعون ثيابكم من الظهيرة, which is noon also. And فسبحان سورة الروم فسبحان الله وسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وحين تظهرون. Then the next ayah وحين تظهرون. Okay, تظهرون means when you reach the ظهر, when you reach the ظهر, that is تظهرون. So في الظعن ظل الظهر, في الظعن ظل الظهر. The ayah in Surah الروم وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا, and at night وحين تظهرون. So basically praising Allah, glorifying Him at all times. فسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين تظهرون. When you reach the noon or the ظهر. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. عظم الحفظ. Again, عظم. عظم. عظم from عظمة. Not عظم. عظم different meaning, different word, different family. عظم from عظيم. عظمة. تمام. تعظيم, معظم, عظيم, عظم. That word has so many derivatives and it's mentioned so many times in the Quran, 113 places. Not that particular word. Again, as I mentioned, the words that come from the same root of عظم. العظم. العظم, الكبر. العظم means what? Greatness. Okay, not necessarily physical greatness, of course. No, not physically. the big size, something big, not in size, but in status, in power, etc., etc. Okay, and could be also in size. So you will know from the context. So عذاب عظيم, great punishment, severe punishment. That's the first time it's mentioned in the Holy Quran, which is Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 7. So that's عظم. الحفظ, عظم الحفظ. الحفظ, protection. Protection. It came protection, حفظ, protection, maintaining, keeping, okay, all those types of words. It came in the Holy Quran 44 places, and the first of which is حافظوا على الصلوات, maintain and keep the prayers. Surah Al-Baqarah 238. حافظوا على الصلوات, حفظ, حافظين, والحافظون والحافظين فروجهم, يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم. So حفظ, protection, maintenance, keeping, حافظين, all those words. Okay, if you have any question or you want to add any example, you can go ahead, inshallah. So that's the first part of the first line. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. Guys, don't think memorizing al-Jazariyya is something impossible. This is one of the most difficult sections of al-Jazariyya. Okay, not the most difficult. This is, I think, the second most difficult. The most difficult is the one مقطوع and موصول, to learn all those words. But nothing is difficult if you practice. Now, every class we're doing maybe 1 or 2 lines or 3 lines. So you have the whole week, just learn it. And if you want to learn it, don't read it by yourself. Memorize it from Sheikh Ayman. See the audio that there's an audio, he made an audio for it, so that you learn it right. Because if you learn it wrong, خلاص, it's difficult to change. And also I put, alhamdulillah, when I read it to Sheikh Ayman, may Allah reward him, I also put the video, also you can hear it fast. But to get the better pronunciation, get it from Sheikh Ayman, because he does it slowly, and of course, and he's our teacher, may Allah reward him. And you don't compare the student to the teacher. So في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. Can anyone say it? في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ. Who can say the first section? في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. And these types of words, because they're difficult, they help you, like it's training for your lips, for your jaw, for your speech. Is very good. Who can say them? No one? في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. يلا guys. No one? Okay. I'll give you more time, maybe for next class. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. أيقظ وأنظر. يلا, we have a volunteer. بسم الله.
في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ.
ما شاء الله, good job. ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. Try again.
في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ.
Exactly, yes. بارك الله فيك. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ. أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ. This doesn't make sense as a sentence, so we have to take it word by word. أيقظ, to wake up, right? أيقظ, to wake up somebody, right? أيقظ. أيقظ, it's mentioned only one time in the Holy Quran. Anyone knows? Surah Al-Kahf. أيقاظا وتحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود. وتحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود. Surah Al-Kahf. So this word, or what comes from it, is mentioned one time. Surah Al-Kahf, ayah 18. وتحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود. أيقظ وأنظر. Anyone knows what أنظر means? أنظر, أمهل. أنظر means أمهل, from al-inzar, al-imhal, not nazar, not about sight, nazara, no, that's different. It will come, that's different. Okay? أيقظ وأنظر. أنظر means أمهل. أنظرنا, أمهلنا. Okay? It came 19 places in the Holy Quran. How many? 19 places. Here, some people like the Mu'tazilites and some other sects, Islamic sects, they came to say that we cannot see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. And they interpreted the ayat about إِلَى رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ, that they'll be waiting for their Lord. And instead of interpreting it to mean they will look at their Lord, which is the right meaning, they said it means they will wait. So they took from this meaning. So they mixed the meaning and they interpreted this way. And all of their argument is that we cannot see him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's impossible, etc. But of course, Ahl Sunnah, the belief of Ahl Sunnah is Nazira is different from this word, and it's not from this root. Anzara different from Nazara. Okay? Inzar different from Nazar. So that's different. And Ahl Sunnah believe, of course, that we will be enabled to look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without him being limited in a place. That's the belief of Ahl Sunnah. Then we came on the other hand, the anthropomorphists and the Mujassima and some Salafis and Wahhabis. They say that we will see him and means he has like a body, or so they take this, some of them, not all of them, but in the past, especially the anthropomorphists of the past, they took this as a proof that he has a place. Wal-iyadu billah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond time and place. So Ahl Sunnah believe that we will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will enable us. With these eyes, we cannot. He will enable us to see him without him being limited by place. That's the belief of the summary of the belief of Ahl Sunnah. And it's mentioned yani, in the adopted books of Ahl Sunnah and the references of the Aqidah of Ahl Sunnah. Now the proofs and how, that's in, we search it in Aqidah. But now, yani, you see, sometimes you're driving and you see like a mirage right in front of you, and you see some water, and then when you reach it, you don't find anything. The point is sometimes you see something without it occupying a place, right? This is just an example to show you that that's very possible. And looking at him subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't mean he'll be limited in a place, and doesn't mean we can encompass and get to know his all of his reality, because he said subhanahu wa ta'ala لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار. The sights cannot encompass him or know his full reality subhanahu wa ta'ala. أيقظ وأنظر. The first, it came this word and the derivatives of this word أنظر from إنظار came 19 places in the Holy Quran. The first of which Surah Al-Baqarah ayah 162. 162. ولا هم ينظرون. ولا هم ينظرون. ينظرون. Surah Al-Baqarah 163 means they will not be ولا هم ينظرون. They will not be given respite. They will not be given time. Okay? ولا هم ينظرون. Bismillah. What's the full ayah? The beginning of the ayah. خالدين فيها لا يخفف عنهم العذاب. Did I say 63? Is 162. 162. خالدين فيها, they will be in the hellfire. لا يخفف عنهم العذاب. The punishment will not be reduced. ولا هم ينظرون. ولا هم ينظرون. لا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينظرون. So in this case will mean لا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينظرون. It will not be delayed for them. It will be constant. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. لا يغير عنهم ولا يفتر. Okay. So excuse me. So أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ. عظم. There we said عظم. Now we say عظم. عظم is the bone. The bone. This word and its derivatives came in the Holy Quran 15 times. عظم. The first of which is وانظر إلى العظام. وانظر إلى العظام. Also Surah Al-Baqarah, right? وانظر إلى العظام كيف ننشزها. وانظر إلى العظام كيف ننشزها. آية 259. آية 259. سورة البقرة آية 259. وانظر إلى العظام. عظم. So العظام العظام. What else? It came in the Quran from that root. العظام came more than one time. يحيي العظام فكسونا العظام. What else? اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما. This is mentioned a lot in the Quran, right? أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما, etc. That is عظم.
في سورة النازعات.
نعم.
سورة النازعات.
نعم. إذا كنا عظاما نخرة. نعم. بارك الله فيك. Right. So that is عظم. ظهر. ظهر is the back. ظهر is the back. أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر. So ظهر is what? ظهر is the back. Well, let me share with you that because I did not prepare that part. So let me show you that from the video. So ظهر, as you can see on the screen, you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
So as you can see, ظهر, which is the back, it came 16 times in the Quran. The first of which, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 101, وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ, behind their backs. ظهر, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد.
سورة الشرح.
ظهورهم ألم نشرح لك صدرك أنقض ظهرك, right? ظهرك. Yeah, who else? Yalla, whoever knows some words, remind us of them, please.
I think in the
نعم.
وراء ظهره.
وراء ظهره, behind his back. So ظهره, his back. ظهورهم, their backs. So all of those words that belong to this family of ظهر, not ظهر. See the difference? ظهر. They are with ظا. They are with ظا. Last one in this line, this is line 53. أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ. 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 لفظ is the pronunciation, is the utterance. Okay, is the utterance. This came in the Quran many times. This came in the Holy Quran many times. Or one time, sorry. ما يلفظ من قول. ما يلفظ من قول سورة قاف آية 18. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. The only place in the Quran that came from لفظ. ما يلفظ, whatever he utters or pronounces or says of any word. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه, except that it has رقيب عتيد, angel that is present and constantly writing and attending and recording what you say. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. So يلفظ, اللفظ, يلفظ, the only place in the Quran. So that's line 53. Any question on that before we move on? So في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ. في الظعن ظل الظهر عظم الحفظ أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ. So if we try to remember them, في الظعن, what are the ones who are mentioned one time in the Quran? We have الظعن يوم ظعنكم. We have الظهر الظهر 2 times, ظهيرة and تظهرون. Those are easy. عظم from عظيم, that's mentioned a lot in the Quran, right? الحفظ حافظين, it's mentioned a lot. أيقظ 1 time, سورة الكهف, أيقاظة. أنظر is mentioned a lot. ينظرون, أنظرنا, أنظرني. عظم from عظام is mentioned a lot. ظهر also mentioned a lot. لفظ mentioned once. So ظعن and أيقظ and لفظ, these are mentioned once each. الظهر 2 times and the others mentioned many times. That is line 53. Line 54. So أيقظ وأنظر عظم ظهر اللفظ ظاهر لظى شواظ كظم ظلم أغلظ ظلام ظفر انتظر ظما. ظاهر لظى. ظاهر, it came in the Quran on 6 meanings. On 6 meanings. ظاهر. The root is ظهر. The root is ظهر. Okay. From that root we have many meanings, and that's of course related to morphology. You learn that in morphology. The first meaning, ظاهر, which is against باطن. ظاهر, the apparent. باطن is the hidden. And in this meaning, it came 14 times in the Quran. So ظاهر, it came in the Quran with 6 meanings. So we will have 6 groups of families, or 6 groups of words, or 6 families of words if you like. The first one, ظاهر, is against باطن, is the opposite of باطن. ظاهر is apparent, باطن is hidden. The first, it's mentioned 14 times in the Quran, the first of which, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ, Surah Al-An'am, ayah 120. And quit and avoid the apparent sins and the hidden sins. اللهم أعنا يا رب وجنبنا ظاهر الإثم وباطنه يا أرحم الراحمين. That's the first meaning. ظاهر, opposite of باطن. Second meaning, بمعنى الإعانة. ظهر from ظاهر, from supported. Supported. And support from that meaning. مظاهرة, support. بمعنى الإعانة. In 12 places in the Quran, the first of which, تظاهرون عليهم. تظاهرون عليهم بالإثم والعدوان. That you support one another against them. Baqarah 85. The third meaning is العلو. الظهور. الظهور, when some, like prevalence. Do we say prevalence? When something prevail, what's the noun? Is it prevalence? Prevailing. That's when something overcome and prevail and dominate. In that sense, it came 5 times in the Holy Quran. The first of which, Surah Al-Tawbah, لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. And this sentence is mentioned at least 3 times. The first of which, Surah Al-Tawbah 33, لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. Right? To make it prevail. He is the one who sent his messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, بالهدى, with guidance, ودين الحق, and the religion of truth, ليظهره على الدين كله, to make it prevail over all other religions. ولو كره الكافر, ولو كره المشركون, even if the polytheists detest. Yes.
بتزبط take over maybe, I don't know.
Take over, but الكلمة اللي بيستخدموها أفضل إنه to prevail. تمام, to prevail. ليظهره على الدين كله. We have this where سورة التوبة and سورة where الصف and also سورة أحزاب. ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. It's repeated the same in سورة التوبة and الصف, but in سورة الأحزاب ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. That is the rest of that ayah. the fourth meaning for ظاهرة is الاطلاع, means to get to know about something. Okay, to look at. الاطلاع بمعنى الاطلاع, to look at, and it came 3 times in the Quran. The first of which Surah An-Nur 31, لم يظهروا على عورات النساء, أو الطفل الذين لم يظهروا على عورات النساء, the children who لم يظهروا على, they did not get to know or look at the عورات of women, means they still don't know about that this is something you should look at or you should not look at, etc. So they're excused, and you don't have like to cover yourself from such kids because they're still not مميز, they don't know about these things. So that's يظهر, لم يظهروا على عورات النساء. Number 5 بمعنى الظفر. الظفر, like to win over and to succeed and to take over. It's mentioned 4 times in the Quran. كيف وإن يظهروا عليكم, Surah At-Tawbah ayah 8. كيف وإن يظهروا عليكم لا يرقبوا فيكم إلا ولا ذمة. يظهروا عليكم, when they take over and they win over you and they control you and they win over you. Number 6 الظهار بمعنى الظهار. الظهار is mentioned in the Quran in 3 places. اللاتي تظاهرون. Who knows the other 2 places? So the first of which is Surah Al-Ahzab ayah 4, and it's mentioned 2 other places. Who knows? Yalla ya Sheikh Adnan, you were reading it the other day, right? Surah Al-Mujadila, it's mentioned 2 times, right? الذين يظاهرون منكم من نسائهم, and then والذين يظاهرون منكم من نسائهم. So it's mentioned only 3 times in the Quran. وما جعل أمهاتكم اللائي تظاهرون منهن وما جعل نساءكم اللاتي تظاهرون منهن أمهاتكم. That he didn't make your women, your wives that you're making ظهار against them, he didn't make them your mothers, because some ignorant Arabs in the past, when they get angry with their wives, they will tell her, you are to me just like the back of my mother, means you're haram on me, means I'm not gonna touch you. And so it's like an oath, and they leave their wife for months and months, and they don't approach her, and they deprive her of her rights, and they violate her rights, etc. So the Quran came and revealed some ayat to rebuke those types of people who are using such words. And in Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد, what's the ayah? ما جعل أزواجكم اللائي تظاهرون منهن أمهاتكم, right? اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. ما جعل الله لرجل من قلبين في جوفه وما جعل أزواجكم اللائي تظاهرون منهن أمهاتكم. He did not make your wives that you're making ظهار against. He didn't make them your mothers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rebuked them for saying such words. And then it came, yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed some ayat to explain the ruling. You cannot just do that and just say that and go unpunished, right? So there's a fiqh rule regarding that. It's mentioned in Surah Al-Mujadila. So these are the 6 meanings for ظاهرة. So ظاهر, it comes from against batin, ظاهر batin. It comes from ظهور, prevalence. يظهر على الدين كله, prevalence, to prevail. It comes from ظفر, to take over. It comes from مظاهرة, from the ظهار. It comes from al-ulu, right? It comes, what else? these are the main meanings, right? So we said from الاطلاع, to look at, to get to know. لم يظهروا على عورات النساء. And the last one, support. It comes in the meaning of support. تظاهرون تظاهرون عليهم بالإثم والعدوان. To support one another. يتظاهرون. Okay, أو يظاهرون. So that is ظاهر. How much time we still have? We can do, try to finish this line. So ظاهر لظى of course this is description for Jahannam, right? This is a description for Jahannam. Lava is what? The flame, right? Or lava is, to give you the literal meaning from the dictionary. So lava is النار. وقيل اللهب الخالص. So lava is النار, the fire. And also نارا تلظى, like it's burning, it's like flaming. Okay, that's also lava. So we have, of course, this is in the Quran. كلا إنها لظى. And فأنذرتكم نارا تلظى. نارا تلظى يعني تتلظى. There's a ta that is dropped there for تخفيف. The Arabs they drop it. So they say نارا تلظى. So lava is one of the names of Jahannam. Okay. And تلظى, which means تتلظى, means تتوهج, flaming and burning, right? So that is lava. So ظاهر لظى النار, and one of the names of Jahannam. It's mentioned only 2 times in the Quran, as I mentioned. كلا إنها لظى, Surah Al-Ma'arij, ayah 15, and فأنذرتكم نارا تلظى, Surah Al-Layl, ayah 14. That is lava. شواظ, ظاهر لظى شواظ. شواظ, also one time in the Quran, Surah Al-Rahman, subhanahu wa ta'ala, يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار. يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار. What is شواظ? شواظ من نار means شواظ from the hellfire. شواظ from the hellfire. So what is الشواظ? الشواظ والشواظ اللهب الذي لا دخان له, smokeless flame. Okay, اللهب الذي لا دخان فيه, smokeless flame. That is الشواظ. تمام. قطعة نار ليس فيها. Okay, so الشواظ is the flame that doesn't have smoke. So usually that will be what is very burning, right? Is intense in burning. It's not like some smoke. No, it's just completely a mere flame. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. So شواظ is mentioned 1 time in the Quran, Surah Al-Rahman subhanahu wa ta'ala. يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار. Surah Al-Rahman ayah. Surah Al-Rahman subhanahu wa ta'ala, ayah 35. شواظ كظم. كظم, الكظم, suppression. From what? الكاظمين الغيظ, right? الكاظمين الغيظ. And the الغيظ will come also in the following lines. كظم, when something is burning, something is about to explode, something about to come out, you close it. That's كظم. Our Sheikh gave us the most expressive example about كظم is the what do they call it? The soda, like Pepsi or Coca-Cola or whatever. If you shake it a little bit, right, and you open, what will happen? How it will come out very strongly. So when you close it, with your hand, or you put the cover close, that's the kadhim. Something is about to, then you, right? You're angry and you're burning from inside, and you control yourself. This means you're a strong man, right? As the Prophet ﷺ said, ليس الشديد بالسرعة إنما الشديد الذي يملك نفسه عند الغضب. A strong person is not the one who wrestles and beats others, and is the one who controls himself while in anger. May Allah make us of them. So that is kadhim. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ mentioned 6 times in the Holy Quran, or al-kadhim. The first of which, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظ, Surah Ali Imran, right? وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظ. Where is it? Here. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظ, Surah Ali Imran 134. Surah Ali Imran 134. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظ. Okay. ظلم ظاهر لظى شواظ كظم ظلم ظاهر لظى شواظ كظم ظلم. ظلم from ظلم. From ظلم. It came 289 times in the Quran. The first of which, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 35, فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. ظلم, to wrong someone, to violate the right of someone, to take the right of someone, right? And by the way, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never be zalim, because whatever Allah does, it's his ownership. So whatever Allah does in the world, no one can say he's zalim. Whatever he does, no one can say he's zalim. Even if you don't understand what's going on, you can never say he's zalim or accuse him of zulm, right? Of course, that's a type of blasphemy, but you cannot do that because everything is his. So if you own, as one of the scholars say, if you have a door in your backyard, a new door, and you wanted to cut it and use it for barbecue, or you use it for one of your rooms, can anyone like tell you you've wronged me or you've made zulm? No one, because you own it, you can do whatever. And all of the creation is Allah's creation. It's his ownership. So whatever he wants to do, no one can object on him, right? Yet everything that we see around us in life has a wisdom and is good. It is good. Sometimes we get to know, sometimes we don't, right? And those who are doing wrong things, they will be brought to account by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So zulm, zalama, from zulm, from wrongdoing, from violation, oppression, from taking people's rights, etc. Mentioned 289 times. Now, all here, make sure you make the ghain heavy. All and you round with the dhamma, then you bring back with the sukoon, then you round again the lips with the lam. أغلظ from al-ghilza, from al-ghilza. That's mentioned in the Quran. We have ghalidh, adab ghalidh, which means in that sense like difficult or severe. ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب, the first time mentioned in the Quran, ayah 159 of Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3. And it came in the Quran 13 times, in 13 places, under this meaning. We have adab ghalidh, like severe punishment. غليظ القلب, if you were like rude. So that's the meaning. From ghilza, from rudeness, or from also severity, from those meanings. Ghalidh, also it comes like something thick also. Zalam is the opposite of nur. الظلمات إلى النور. Zalam is the dark, right? The darkness. It's mentioned in the Quran 26 times. The first of which في ظلمات لا يبصرون. في ظلمات لا يبصرون. سورة البقرة آية 17. في ظلمات لا يبصرون. ظلم. إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. ظلم also. No, what am I saying? No. We said ظلام. We said ظلم. ظاهر لغة شواظ وكظ من ظلم. We talk about ظلم. But here ظلام. Did I say ظلم again? No, ظلام. Here he's talking about ظلام only, which is darkness. Okay? Darkness. In under ظلم, we have الظلم and ظالمين, etc. But here he's talking about ظلام, which is opposite of light. Okay? Even though they share the same root. So as you can see here, we understand that he's not necessarily mentioning one word that represents all of the words that come from that root. Sometimes he's taking one meaning. For example, if you want to search in the dictionary for the word ظلام and the word ظلم, you will need to go to ظلم. ظلم. Under ظلم, you will find ظلام and you will find ظلمات and you will find ظلم and ظالمين, etc. So he's sometimes, but the meaning of ظلام, which is darkness, is different from the meaning of ظلم, which is wrongdoing or violating someone's right. Even though they share the same root, but they're two different subcategories, if you like, of the meaning. And that's what he did here. So here he talked about ظلام. Anything that's related to ظلام, which is the dark or darkness, it's mentioned 26 times in the Quran. The first of which is Surah Al-Baqarah 17. أغلوا الظلام ظفر. ظفر. حرمنا عليهم كل ذي ظفر. One time only in the Quran, Surah Al-An'am 146. وعلى الذين هادوا حرمنا ما قصصنا عليك من قبل. حرمنا عليهم كل ذي ظفر. Okay, كل ذي ظفر. Everything that has what do they call it? Not nail. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. For the animals, what do they call it?
Hooves.
Huh? Hoofs. Hoof, right?
Hooves.
The hoofs, right? وعلى الذين هادوا حرمنا كل ذي ظفر. وعلى الذين هادوا حرمنا كل ذي ظفر. Surah Al-An'am. Surah Al-An'am chapter 6. Ayah 146. And on the Jews we made forbidden every animal with undivided hoofs, right? So that's the كل ذي ظفر. Okay.
هوفس معناها حافر، صح شيخ عبد الله؟
ايه الحوافر، نعم.
هي نفس الشيء يعني؟
بس أظن لا، أظن والله أعلم. I need to check the difference. I think they're the same, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they are the same. الظفر الحافر.
ممكن the claw. لا ممكن لا.
هذاك الكلا هو المخلب.
المخلب. يس صح.
مخالب. نعم. So الظفر البهائم والطير ما لم يكن مشقوق الأصابع. ما لم يكن مشقوق الأصابع. Yeah, it's the undivided hoof. Undivided hoof. فأظن هو يعني الحافر. نعم. الهوني part of the foot. نعم هو الحافر يعني بسموه. لكن بالعربي I need to check exactly to make sure in Arabic that it is حافر and the ظفر for the animals it is the same or not. I have to verify. Unfortunately, because we don't really know the Arabic enough, and we're not using those words, etc., etc. ماشي, so we'll check inshallah. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. So أغلظ ظلام ظفر. It's mentioned one time in the Quran. أغلظ ظلام ظفر انتظر ظما. So we'll take these two words and finish inshallah here. أغلظ ظلام ظفر انتظر ظما. انتظر means what? انتظر means to wait, right? انتظر means to wait. This word is mentioned in the Quran. Do you see the video? Do you still see the video?
Yes.
Okay, so that's ظفر. أغلظ ظلام ظفر انتظر. انتظر, of course, this is a verb with hamzat wasl, means wait. انتظر means wait. Mentioned 14 times in the Quran, the first of which Surah Al-An'am, ayah 158. قُلْ انتظروا إِنَّا مُنْتَظِرُونَ. So انتظر, منتظرون, ينتظر, those words with ظا. Finally, ظما from ظما. So he said ظما. He used that form to fit the rhythm. Okay, so it's originally ظما. So some Arabs say ظما, and instead of ظما they say ظما. This is mentioned only 3 times in the Quran, first of which Surah At-Tawbah, ayah 120. لا يصيبهم ظما. They will not be afflicted by thirst. So ظما is thirst, right? Did I say thirst? عطش. ظما عطش. لا يصيبهم ظما. They're not afflicted by thirst. That's mentioned 3 times in the Quran. لا يصيبهم ظما. So he said ظما to fit the rhythm. Okay, Jazallah khairan Sheikh Ayman for bringing all these examples and details. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will try to finish up as many lives as we can next time. And this is very beneficial also, beneficial class for you, or this section that will help you also learn some of the meanings of some roots and some words, so that it will help you more understand inshallah the Quran when you read, and the differences between azam and udhum and azim and idham and these things. It will be very beneficial for you if you categorize them and practice those words. Inshallah, that will be of benefit to you. Subhanakallah. Any question about anything we mentioned today? So we finished line 53 and 54, and inshallah we'll continue next time if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. No questions? Okay, alhamdulillah, subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Sallallahu wa sallam wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathiran ila yawm al-din walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. I want to check for you, Hafir. Okay, make sure. SubhanAllah, even though this is like should be a simple word for us as Arabs, but unfortunately, because we're far from practicing, and we have to make sure. حافر البئر وعاء بكل ذي حافر. Inshallah, I'll take 10 minutes, inshallah, and be back 10:25 for Al-Kharida, inshallah. I will check for you next time. I have to go and I'll be back inshallah 10 minutes.